I will say that I came out of Washington's preseason game liking both Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler a little bit more than I had been in previous weeks. I moved both of those guys up just a smidge in my 2024 fantasy football draft guide. And the reason for that is Jaden Daniels was on the field for 11 offensive snaps. So in theory, the Washington Commanders' first string offense was on the field for 11 offensive snaps. And in that time, the Commanders' backfield handled 7 carries on 11 snaps, and Austin Eckler had one of Jaden Daniels' 3 targets. In other words, of 11 offensive plays that Jaden Daniels ran, the backfield was involved with 8 of them. And not only that, the Washington Commanders ran the ball 8 out of 11 times that Jaden Daniels was on the field, or about 73% of the time. Now, of course, take this all with a grain of salt. Understand that it's the first preseason game, it's a tiny sample size, but still, it was our first indicator that the Washington Commanders very well may be one of the more run-heavy football teams in the entire NFL in 2024. Now, one final thing to note about the Washington Commanders, or at least what we learned about them in their most recent preseason game, and this one actually comes from PFF's Nate Yankee. And if you don't follow Nate on Twitter, I highly recommend changing that. The dude's an absolute magician when it comes to charting offensive snaps and basically charting offensive usage for anybody who's relevant in fantasy football. In case in point, Nate noticed that Jahan Dotson ran the majority of his routes in this most recent preseason game from the slot. And that's noteworthy because in years past, Curtis Samuel served as the team's slot receiver. So Jahan Dotson moving into the slot should work wonders for his target share, his potential volume, and should boost him up rankings a little bit more in PPR leagues, as he should see more raw targets than he has in years past. And one other observation that Nate made, Cliff Kingsbury's Arizona Cardinals from 2019 to 2022, Cliff Kingsbury's slot receivers caught the second most passes in the NFL during that time, and now they're playing Jahan Dotson in that role in Cliff Kingsbury's offense. Great catch, great work by Nate Yankee. Again, I highly recommend giving him a follow over on Twitter.